Hi YouTube, it's Kathy, and this is my TBR for the 6th round of the Queer Lit Readathon, which is happening November 29th through December 5th. I am very excited because I managed to take these 16 prompts from our bingo board and whittle it down to 6 books that cover all of the prompts. I'm going to start with the group read, which this time around is The Summer of Everything by Julian Winters. This obviously crosses off the group read square, but I'm also going to use it for the BIPOC square, Own Voices square, and the non-coming out square. And I'm just really hoping I'm correct on that last one. I'm pretty sure he doesn't come out in this book. I'm pretty sure he's already out when the book starts. Even though I like to go into my books not knowing too much, I'm going to read the synopsis of each book for you in case you think it sounds interesting and you want to know more. Comic book geek Wesley Hudson excels at 2 things: slacking off at his job and pining over his best friend Nico. Advice from his best friends, 90s alt-rock songs, and online dating articles aren't helping much with his secret crush. And his dream job at Once Upon a Page, the local used bookstore, is threatened when a coffee shop franchise wants to buy the property. To top it off, his annoying brother needs wedding planning advice. When all 3 problems converge, Wes comes face to face with the one thing he's been avoiding: adulthood. Well, that's relatable. Now confronted with reality, can Wes balance saving the bookstore and his strained sibling relationship? Can he win the heart of his crush too? I'm so delighted we're reading this one. Julian Winters is just fantastic. I've loved his previous books that I've read. Just very excited to get to this one. The only book that I'm possibly even more excited to get to for this readathon is the book that I'll be using as an adult book, a retelling, and our choose your own prompt square. For this one, I am choosing to read an advanced reader's copy, and that will be One Last Stop by McQuiston. If you've been here for a while, you know that I loved Red, White, and Royal Blue. I also somehow managed to get an advanced reader's copy through a friend of that one. Absolutely loved it. It was my favorite book of last year. I have 2 signed copies of it now. So I was over the moon the other day when we announced the 6th round of the Queer Lit Readathon, and I got an email notification saying that I got the ARC. And of course, synopsis time. From the New York Times bestselling author of Red, White, and Royal Blue comes a new romantic comedy that puts a queer spin on Kate and Leopold. Side note, I've never actually seen Kate and Leopold. Somebody tell me down below whether or not I should bother watching it before reading this book. A 23-year-old realizes that her subway crush is displaced from 1970s Brooklyn, and she must do everything in her power to help her, and try not to fall in love with the girl lost in time before it's too late. To be honest, I really don't care what the synopsis of any of Casey's books are. I will be reading all of them. Next we have the book that I will be using to cover the ACE prompt as well as the host recommendation, and that's The Sound of Stars. I'm 99% certain that R has read this one and recommended this one, and if they haven't, then I know that Audrey has. Audrey is a previous host. Totally counts. This is another one of those books that I've been meaning to read since the middle of summer and just haven't gotten around to, so it's going on this list. And obviously this one ticks off a lot of boxes for me, which you'll see in the synopsis. Can a girl who risks her life for books and an alien who loves forbidden pop music work together to save humanity? 2 years ago, a misunderstanding between the leaders of Earth and the invading Elori resulted in the deaths of 1/3 of the world's population. 17-year-old Janelle Ellie Baker serves in an Elori-controlled center in New York City. Deemed dangerously volatile because of their initial reaction to the invasion, humanity's emotional transgressions are now grounds for execution. All art, books, and creative expression are illegal, and Ellie breaks the rules by keeping a secret library. When a book goes missing, Ellie is terrified that the Elori will track it back to her and kill her. Born in the lab, Morris was raised to be emotionless. When he finds Ellie's illegal library, he's duty-bound to deliver her for execution. The trouble is he finds himself drawn to the human music and in desperate need of more. They're both breaking the rules for the love of art, and Ellie inspires the same feelings in him that music does. Ellie's and humanity's fate rests in the hands of an alien she should fear. Morris has a lot of secrets, but also a potential solution, thousands of miles away. The two embark on a wild and dangerous road trip with a bag of books and their favorite albums, all while making a story and song of their own that just might save them both. Hi, Comfy Kathy from editing here. I had this weird feeling while I was going over my footage. I was just actually watching the video through to make sure I didn't leave anything in accidentally. And I got this weird feeling about the book that I picked as my graphic novel. And I thought to myself, wouldn't it be really funny if I accidentally picked a book that isn't a graphic novel? And I couldn't get my brain to leave that alone, so I actually looked the book up and it wasn't actually a graphic novel, so here we are. Not entirely sure how my brain did that, but I'm excited it did. Instead, I've decided to read Genderqueer, which I've been meaning to get around to anyway. In 2014, Maia Kobabe, who uses E and air pronouns, thought a comic of reading statistics would be the last autobiographical comic E would ever write. At the time, it was the only thing E felt comfortable with strangers knowing about him. Now Genderqueer is here. This one is a graphic memoir, so I'm not going to go any further into this because I feel like I want to go into a memoir knowing as little as possible about the person because it is true and I am very excited for it nonetheless. To cover the square is queer friends, romance in the background, see yourself because there are bisexual characters and that's me, and also hopefully pre/non-medical transition because I think that's in this book, but obviously it's hard to know for sure without reading it. I will be reading The Black Veins. This is another book I've been wanting to read since about March and just haven't gotten around to. In a world where magic thrives in secret city corners, a group of magicians embarks on a road trip, and it's a no-love interest found family adventure you've been searching for. 16-year-old Blythe is one of 7 guardians, magicians powerful enough to cause worldwide panic with a snap of their fingers. But Blythe spends her days pouring latte art at her family's coffee shop, so why should she care about having apocalyptic abilities? She's given a reason when magician anarchists crash into said coffee shop and kidnap her family. Heartbroken but determined, Blythe knows she can't save them alone. A war is brewing between 2 magician governments and tensions are high. So she packs up her family's bright yellow Volkswagen, puts on a playlist, and embarks on a road trip across the United States to enlist the help of 6 strangers whose abilities are unparalleled. The other guardians. I also personally love that I have 2 road trip books on this TBR. The last book on my TBR is a novella I'm using to cover the winter vibes and the not like you prompts, and that's Mine for Christmas. Matt Weston was shocked when he ran into Cody, his grade school best friend. Pleased, but shocked. Devastatingly handsome was an understatement when it came to Cody, with his hazel eyes, wide smiles, and broad shoulders. It was less shocking months later when Matt found out just how far he'd go for Cody. A desperate request for Matt to play his boyfriend over Christmas and save him from his mom's meddling blind date plans completely hammered the fact home. Matt couldn't resist saying yes, not when it meant getting closer to Cody. The only question was, would he ever be able to let him go when it was over? I'm guessing no. So there you have it. Those are the 6 books on my TBR. Like I kind of mentioned before, there's a chance that some of these aren't actually going to fulfill the prompts that I've put them into, but we're just doing our best here. It's hard to know until you know, you know? If you have any insight into these books, aka you've already read them and can tell me one way or the other, let me know about it down in the comments below. Are you ready for this round of the Queer Lit Readathon? Let me know about it down in the comments below. On the way down to the comments, if you hit that subscribe button, that would be very nice of you. If you don't feel like leaving a comment but want to make sure that I know you were here, just leave me an emoji or a smiley face if you're on your keyboard. Some people have asked if there's a way to financially support this channel, so I set up a Ko-fi account, which is a digital tipping service. The link for that is down below, as well as the link to my PayPal and my Amazon wishlist in case you would like to buy me a book. You can like and share this as you see fit, and I will see you very soon. Bye!